Yes, yes, yes. Welcome back to Blocks to Bags. We've got another episode of Money Matrix, and I'm joined by my boy.
Mickey.
I'm your boy Seb, and today we're talking about investing and what you can invest with 5 grand or £5,000. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so we had this question come to us, innit? So
The young boys are asking.
the young guys are asking young people in general, and the question is, if someone had like five grand, right? What should and they want to invest and they want to get into investing, right?
Mm-hmm.
What should they be doing?
What should they be doing? That is a good question. Now, let's talk about the importance of 5 grand and why I like 5 grand. To me, I feel like when you save up that amount of money, that's when you actually start thinking, I've got a decent amount saved. It's not like a £500 where you could spend that on a holiday if you get tempted, 5 grand is like something substantial and significant. I know for me, when I started my saving journey, I knew that when I got to 5 grand, that's when I was really in the game. And that motivated me to really start thinking about what can I do with my money? Can I
Yeah,
invest it? In one of our previous episodes, we talk about inflation, how inflation's eating your money. So,
exactly.
yeah, man, let's rewind back to a
I
couple
feel
of
like before
years.
before we go into the thing though, I think what's important to note though is you've got to always start somewhere. So I think five, even if it's 50, I feel like you can
Okay,
start
yeah.
because the main thing, actually, in my opinion, with investing is not how much money you have when you start, right? It's really ultimately about how long you invest for. First of all, because it's like the thing of successful investing is about habits, right? It's not about like future gazing and being able to predict and being able to kind of be able to like call a winner, etc. Right? It's literally about repetition over time, right? Habits
No
over
done
time,
ones.
right? And that's the thing, because like investing is a game of leverage, right? Essentially,
Yeah,
and your biggest like leverage proponent here is time,
it's time. It's true.
right? It's not even the money, honestly; it's the time. So I think you can start with 52, but let's go back to the 500, the 5 grand, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, when you're thinking about investing, like the reason I wanted us to talk about this today is because I've had a few conversations the last couple of weeks where people have come to me and said, but like, what do you actually do to invest, right? What does
Mm-hmm.
it mean to invest?
Yeah.
Um, so in the UK, for example, there's a lot of ways you can invest.
What are
Um,
those ways? Let's
so
let's roll them off.
ISA, there's an ISA
What's an
for
ISA?
an ISA is a tax free, essentially an account, right, where you can save money tax free, and you have an amount each year you can save within it that's tax free up to 20,000.
Yeah.
And there's different types of ISAs. So let's say the two common ones. There's three, I guess, or four
Mm-hmm.
probably, but the two common ones is like a ISA with just a normal bank account ISA where
Yeah.
you get interest, right? Um, or the second one is stocks and shares ISA.
Okay.
So where you invest in stocks, shares, and then you get the returns from that. You could also have like a lifetime ISA, right? When you're like, this is for long term investing the government gives you a set amount. I think they
Lisa.
a Lisa,
Lisa.
is it Lisa,
They call it the
Lisa, yeah, yeah,
Lisa.
yeah. But let's talk about. I want to talk about the so an ISA essentially allows you to save up to 20K a year tax free.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing to
It's like a
think about.
saving
Is
mechanism. So it's
exactly,
more based around actually savings and interest and topping up the kind of money that you've kind of got in there.
yeah. That's the
To put
kind
it
of
simply.
basing. Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of different banks that provide you with an ISA. So
Okay, cool.
all
Okay.
major banks,
Yeah.
high street lenders will
Yeah.
have an
Yeah.
ISA.
Facts.
And within them, some of them, right, they're gonna have some offers where you can have. So if you look at like, for instance, Raisin, which is this kind of fintech company,
Yeah.
and basically what they do is they connect you with various bank accounts,
Yeah.
and they offer you the best saving rate from these various bank
That's
accounts.
awesome.
It could be in Europe, it could be in the UK, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the like fixed 6 month saving accounts now are up to 5.5%, something like that interest rate, right? So if you've got 5K in there, 5.5% is not too bad, return
Not bad at all. Yeah.
not too bad, right?
Mhm.
So that's one option. One option of what that's one very easy investing right there.
But then question: a 5.5% return sounds good, but when you look at inflation being 10%, then really and truly you're kind of losing 5%, right? So is it really enough?
No. I mean, I feel like so. Okay, let's go back
What's
to it. Right, age, and
Mhm.
time. So when you invest, I think obviously what everyone says you want to have like a diversified
Portfolio?
portfolio,
Yeah.
right? But the younger you are, I think the more risk you should be able to take if you invest. And if you go back to
That's why
the way to invest
that's
is
why
be like a VC for yourself,
yeah,
right? We talked about
yeah.
that fund
To
here, yeah, that 10-year fund, right?
yeah.
Let's think in that 10-year fund if you're a normal person, right?
I'm not gonna diss the ISA, but for me, ISA's a safe bet.
No, but you could
They are
still
the safe bet.
but you
No,
could
you
still
can.
do stocks in the ISA though. You could still do because
Okay,
there's
yeah,
a
you could do
stocks
that.
and
Yeah,
shares
okay.
ISA now.
All right, cool.
So essentially, you can buy, and this is so one good platform to think about. There's so many, right? So there's a lot. I like the fintechs, for instance. There's like Plum. There's Moneybox, for instance. They offer you There's Trade 212. They all offer you cash and it's stocks and shares ISA basically,
Mhm.
where up to 20K you can invest and it's tax free.
Yeah.
The capital gains are like 25%, I think.
Yeah.
Or they might have brought them down recently. I don't know, but it's a
It's
lot of
really
money
yeah.
still,
It is. It is.
right? And I don't know if you're already on the 40% threshold, for example, and you're about to go to the next one. That might push you over if you've got, let's say, kids and you've got childcare kind of within, like if you've got like the earning with how much you earn and how much childcare credits you get. That might also push you over, right? Your capital gain. So your
Yeah.
ISA becomes um a potentially helpful avenue there.
Okay. Cool.
Um,
What's the next ones on the list?
so but what does that mean though?
What?
On those platforms, you
Yeah.
can go straight ahead and invest. You can buy
Stocks and
stocks
shares. Yeah.
from £1 really,
That's not bad.
and over time you can kind of grow your money.
Okay.
Those are the two options I would say for ISAs, right? And
Cool.
other types of investment obviously are more riskier types. I think
This is let's talk about the risky ones.
because I feel like we talked about
I want
like
to risk it all.
we've invested in. Did we talk about our investment in?
Man will risk it for the. You know what I'm saying?
Did we talk about our investment in GoHenry, for example? Have you mentioned that
No,
in
we
the
have.
past?
Let's talk about it again, isn't it? So, where does this fall under?
This is
Like a
this is crowd.
equity.
Yeah. It's like it's stocks basically, but you're doing it at an early stage, right? You're buying it at a stage when it's still not public. It's still in private control, but they've done an outside raise, like the way that basically you're participating like a VC might do.
Yeah. It's
And
crowdfunding. But
crowdfunding. That's what
pretty
it is.
much is crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding is essentially participating like a VC essentially, in
Yeah.
that you access it before it's in the public markets, right? Because it's within a limited time frame. You're buying
Yeah.
shares in that way, and often, usually, it means not always that it is a bit more difficult to actually like get rid of these assets in the short term, right? Because then there
Exit.
isn't a public window where you sell them.
You're locked in
You're
until
locked in, right?
something happens. Either the company gets bought or the company goes
Acquired,
goes to the
mergers, goes
public
public,
market.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And that usually takes a good couple of years.
But in 2019, was it 2018 or 19? We invested 180 each, right, in a company called GoHenry. I feel like because I was working, because I've been in fintech even since then. I was covering these startups, and we talked about it. And
GoHenry, yeah. GoHenry was a good. When you told me about GoHenry, I thought a credit card or debit card for children for them to manage money and the parents get to control purchases. I said it makes sense.
Yeah,
Especially
it's
that
a
was like
no-brainer.
it was a no-brainer, right? It was everyone was
no-brainer,
everyone was getting Monzo and digital bank accounts. It was only a matter of time till the kids get digital bank accounts, and GoHenry seemed to be like the market leader at the time.
Exactly. So and we invested like what 180, and I think we're probably, and now recently that they got acquired, and I think over the next month probably or 6 weeks we'll probably get some money.
Ching ching.
At least 500 or something like that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a very small amount, right? Relatively speaking. But
I'll take it.
I mean, that 180 I'd forgotten about is what 3x return
Yeah.
basically. Why not?
Not
right?
bad.
If you had if I had 5k, that's what 15.
Yeah.
But I think to go back to the 5k that we were discussing,
Yeah.
I do think what you do is if, like that person asked us, right? Right, if you had 5k, what would you do? I would say first of all, I would look at all the various ISAs that there are available.
Yep.
And I would put my money in one of them, right? The younger you are, I would say the more you should be open to investing in stocks for the long term.
Yep.
So initially, for instance, and this is why I think small amount of money is good to start investing with, and just invest over a long time. So what can you do to do this? I would say go create an account with a Plum, for instance, and then go and find 10 stocks, right? And how do you think about stocks? So think about companies that you think are at the forefront of their industry, or that produce goods and services that you really think are great and that you think other people think are great and will be around for a long
A
time.
great example, iPhone.
iPhone.
Everyone has
exactly.
an iPhone. Oh yeah.
Or recently, for example, we talk about AI, right?
Yeah.
NVIDIA is a great example of a company which creates the chips, the GPUs used for like all of the chat GPT or Google's Bard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like these Gen AI networks, right? And because of that, since the start of the year, the stock is up 200%.
Crazy.
So if you'd put £5,000 in Nvidia stock at the start of the year, it would have been 10 grand right now. In 5 years though, Nvidia is up 600%.
Oh wow.
So do you know what I mean? With
Yeah.
stocks, what I would say is there is a distribution that is always like kind of good to think about. I think the younger you are, the higher your kind of proportion of equities and growth stocks and companies like Tesla or Apple or Nvidia, but not these exact ones, but essentially public companies that are tech companies that are growth companies as well, especially some of the early stage ones, and you are exposed to them for a pretty long time.
Yeah. Quick question though. You're talking about individual stocks, which is good, but there is a less riskier way of investing in stocks, right?
100%.
Which is index funds.
Index funds, yeah.
Which is what we've talked about in one of our previous episodes. But index funds is like a basket of different kind of stocks, for example, different tech stocks all in one. And you can kind of invest in that, and it's a bit less riskier because if one company goes down and the other kind of still maintains its value.
Yeah, so but here's what I would say. This is exactly it. You're absolutely right. You could do an index fund, and there's index funds like you could do the whole. And the great thing about index fund usually is the management fees is low, so you're not getting charged that much. But it will be like you can again on these platforms, a Plum, a Moneybox. You could buy like a Vanguard index fund or something made by Vanguard. Usually has like a lot of index funds people kind of buy, right? And you could do this on Vanguard itself, or you could buy on Hargreaves Lansdowne, right? All of these different platforms exist. Some of them are cheaper, some of them are faster, some of them are more convenient. You have to research and look at like which platform looks good to you to use.
Yeah.
But what I'd say is if you have something like 5,000 though,
Yeah.
you can make the basket of goods yourself essentially, because the way that they're constructed is they're a share of this number of stocks from this company, this share from this other company, right? And there you go.
I love it. So we've got a couple questions here that the young boys have kind of asked us. Let's just try to do like a quick round.
Quick fire.
Yeah. Investing, why even risk it?
Because essentially you'll never make money, you'll never generate wealth without investing. Through wages, if you look at like the last 20 years, wages have gone up very little, whereas assets have gone up significantly more. So
is there any form of protection if the provider or companies go under?
yeah, of course. It's like first of all, shareholders do have quite some degree of protection. they do get reimbursed to a degree. But also, it's very rare for a company to go from 100 to zero. Essentially, there is like the price will go up and down. But of course, sometimes there are going to be instances where shareholders get liquidated completely. So, like if you had SVB at the start of the year,
Yeah,
went from 300 to zero in like 2 months. So
we've seen it. Cool. How do we trust what we see on social media when it comes to do with things around investing?
I would say like probably don't trust anything.
Money Matrix is here to help educate
Just
you, man.
only literally, like use one platform to invest in, not to trade or but whatever you're using. Use a platform and that will regulate it so you can check on their website who regulates them. Beyond that, I don't trust people that say that they got like these effort for
Yeah.
forex stuff,
Oh,
all of
signal,
the
send signal.
crypto,
All
all
right.
of
Yeah.
that.
Let me just jump in here, yeah.
Just
If anyone is telling you, yo, buy my signals, do not trust it.
just no,
Don't.
never,
Just no.
never, never.
And the best form of education you can have is self-education.
Yeah.
Teach yourself.
Come on.
Go
Yes.
read. All the information is on there. Investopedia. You got Google. You got watch
Everything.
Bloomberg. There's so much information out there right now. Like there's no excuse to not know like
Even like
the
the
basics
AI
of investing.
chatbots now, right?
You
Like
can
they'll
ask
give you
AI.
some degree of knowledge, but don't I would say don't use social media and don't kind of give away custody of your money. By the way, and don't
Yeah.
use other platforms.
Talking about custody, do I even try get involved in cryptocurrency? Oh.
I'd say look with crypto, it's a hard one because I mean I know people make money from it, people have blown up from it, but it's very difficult to know the metrics to assess whether or not a crypto is gonna be good or not, like the way you would do with a company. So what are you judging it on? I think there are some cryptos like Bitcoin that will probably sustain.
Yeah.
I think some of the other bigger ones that have like some type of utility, like Ether.
Will definitely be there,
But
but
the altcoins, I don't know.
don't spend your $5 on some on some
Yeah, I would say don't do
fridge
that.
coin or music
Yeah,
coin or what?
Pepe coin.
Whatever they come
Pepe
up with.
coin. Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah. So I'd say stay clear of the crypto unless it's like Bitcoin, and even then, diversify.
I love that. And any last words for the block?
I feel like just honestly, like £50. Start with £50. Get an app. If you're just worried about investing, get £50. Usually, people spend that on a couple of Ubers or like on a night out
for
or
sure.
just really like light things in London nowadays. So get £50, get one app, and pick 10 stocks, even if they're random ones, right? Track them for a month, 2 months, just to see how it goes, and then once you do that, I think once you start building the habit, you can really get into building wealth that way, and it's probably the best way to do it, I would say. That is in terms of like the lowest labor and kind of effort required.
Awesome. There you have it. What to do with 5K. I'm your boy Seb.
I'm Mickey.
This is Money Matrix. If you like what you've seen, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share, drop comments. You know what to do. Blocks to bags. We're out.